Hello, my friend. More consciousness talk. Sure that that's exciting to hear, right? So I want to make this pretty pointed video. I like to keep it topical, and specifically talk about what can we actively do to explore consciousness, right? Besides just maybe watching some brain food video like this, right? One simple way to begin that exploration is really through the process and the practice of open awareness. So instead of focusing on a specific object or a sensation, try to expand your awareness to include everything in your environment, right? Um, just sit quietly, allow yourself to kind of bathe in all of your senses and allow yourself to become aware of all of the sights, sounds, sensations around you without judging or focusing on any one thing in particular. That's the hard part. I'll admit that. And as you relax into this state, notice how your sense of self begins to soften. Okay? You may find that you feel more connected to your surroundings, less separate from the world around you. This practice can help you to start to experience consciousness beyond the self, expanding the boundaries of your awareness. That's tough to do, right? To experience without judging. And I don't mean necessarily judgment in the biblical sense, right? What I mean is if you were listening to sounds, right now I hear the sounds of the cars that are rushing by my house. And when we think about the sound enough, we become a little bit too focused on it, right? So when let's say I'm sitting here and I'm practicing to have a better awareness of the, my surroundings around me, focusing in on that sound of the cars and maybe thinking to myself, oh, it's quite loud or high pitched. That's judgment. You're starting to get down into a mental process. And the difficult part, and this is the most confusing part about meditation and these types of practices, is that these are not mental activities. I know it seems like they are, and that's kind of the initiation, right? Is that, you're obviously your brain is the thing that is perceiving, these things. But try to feel try to feel these things around you. Try to feel the sounds. Try to feel the smells. And I know that's a weird word to use, but the word feeling and intuition, they're pretty closely related. And intuition, to my understanding, is not really a mental process, actually. It's kind of a deeper than that level, of conscious activity. So much that we've called it the the gut feeling. I've had I got a bad feeling about this. That's intuition, right? That's that deeper than mental level of information gathering, and learning to trust your intuition is, in my opinion, one of the most important and one of the most vital things that we can do, not only as human beings, but especially for those of us that want to continue developing our consciousness, refining it, learning to trust that intuition. It is very difficult, right? It's always helpful to work with others. It's helpful to, float these intuitions and, see what people think about them. But at the end of the day, our intuition is our own. And there's no amount of vetting that you can do with these intuitive feelings and these intuitive moments that's going to help you solidify or yeah, help you solidify that intuition, right? There's nothing outside of you that you're going to be able to check with that's going to really be able to validate that intuition. Sometimes, that's occasionally the case, but very rare, right? It's starting from a place of self-love and interest, a naivety from kind of a childlike perspective. That is the first place you would start to develop this intuition, and trust yourself. Know that when these feelings come, because they're not thoughts. I think anybody who has worked to understand their intuition would know what I'm talking about there, that it's not necessarily a mental thing. It's not like this inner voice telling you exactly what's on your mind or something like that. It's more subtle than that, and it's quite difficult to start to separate those two, right? Because it's every educated theory, every form of education on this type of stuff has basically said that intuition and mental processes are the same. They're not. In my experience, they're not. If you are trying to meditate and you are thinking, you are not going to be able to meditate. I promise. It doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter how long you stare at a candle or control your breathing. There's nothing that you're going to be able to do that's going to get you out of your head to experience this intuitive field, right? This causal type of perception, really, of the world around you. I know that's a lot of words, but I hope that this was thought-provoking, and just know that developing your intuition it's a long journey. It's lifelong. I've just started mine, and I feel like I've been already working for years, decades on it. But every day feels like a new one when you work with this stuff. So keep that fresh mindset. Don't worry. Don't try to rush yourself. That's the hardest step to pass over, is that impatience will always destroy that progress, and it can be very upsetting, right? So talking about not judging these things, that's kind of what I mean, is let them happen. Let the things that are around you occur, and just don't think about it, right? Just be in it. Just be in it. It's your being. Good luck, my friend, and may you learn to trust your intuition today, if not very soon. Good luck.